Hey, so I just want to talk a bit about red flag because I know a concern that most of us have is that we don't want to encounter new narcissists, and we have a lot of self-doubt about our ability to perceive them or set boundaries or protect ourselves or whatever. So I decided to do a little exercise with myself where I just wrote a list of like all the narcs that I've known, well, supposed narcs if we have no proof, but write a list of all the people that you think were narcs or toxic in some way, but don't include family members, because I really think it's kind of a different situation because there's no love bombing because they don't have to reel you in, and the guilt and the denial is so much stronger, I think, in the family relationships. So just write a list of non-family people that you've known, like friend, partner, coworker, friends of friends, neighbors, whoever. And then write down if there were any signs in the beginning, like maybe even the first time you met them, or maybe in the first couple weeks, first couple months. Like write down if there was anything during the love bombing phase, because it's scary to just tell yourself, oh well, I'll find out they're a narc when it switches to the D value. But you don't have to wait that long. Like what I noticed when I wrote down my list is that there was stuff, sometimes even the first meeting with them, there was something that I could hold on to that indicated there was something wrong with them, but I just chose to dismiss it, right? So this exercise really helped me see how I was actually able to perceive that there was something off about this person, but I was just choosing to dismiss it. So it's empowering to say I do have a sense of perception. I just now need to trust it and act on it. And oh, and the other thing with that, I've read a lot of lists that people have made up of like red flags, and it's awesome because you can find stuff on there that relates to you. But there were things like them being rude to a waiter, or like them just like treating other people badly but being really nice to you. And I just wanted to share that every narc I've ever known has been super covert and has actually been excessively nice to the wait staff. So this is why it's so difficult to even identify narcissists, because you read that and you're like, oh, the person's not a narc because they were super nice to the waiter. Because like it's so personal to you, like your specific type of narc that you fall for is really specific. Like that's what I've noticed watching other people's videos, because they'll talk about red flags, they'll talk about things that happen in their relationship, and I was thinking if that happened to me, I would have been like, whoa, 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 something's wrong. But for them, they didn't notice that. But if someone else had been in my relationship, they would have said, hold up, what the heck going on? But I was thinking it was normal. So I'm wondering if it's just based on like how your parents were, and like that's just what's normal to you. I don't know, but there does seem to be like variety in what we fall for in terms of different narcs. Like yeah, narcs have a lot of similar qualities, but there are certain things that I would just like never have tolerated, I don't think, in someone else. But then obviously I put up with so much crap, but it was like a very specific brand of crap that I put up with. So writing this list like really helped me see like what it is that I fall for, because this is a red flag I have to watch out for. Because telling myself, oh, look for someone who's rude to the wait staff, doesn't help me, because I already know that's a red flag because it doesn't apply to me. The narcs that I've known are excessively nice to everyone except for me. So I thought I would share what some of these things were that I noticed like in the beginning and that I just dismissed. So well, obviously becoming best friend really fast, and they're like the perfect person, which doesn't mean they're a narc, but it's just something to consider if it's in conjunction with these other things. So they're really hot cold. Sometimes they're your best friend and then they'll just kind of go away and then like come back, and you never really know like where you stand with them. And this feeling of them ignoring you while you're with them, that would even happen in the love bombing. Like yeah, they kind of pounce on you and make you feel all special. But that's like the next moment they'll be talking to someone else, and even though they're beside you, there's like the Grand Canyon between you. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel this like massive gap between us, even when they're physically with you, because they've withdrawn their emotional connection. And I put the narc on a pedestal, and I want to impress them, and I think that they're so cool, and like I want to be their friend. And I haven't had that with normal people. Like, yeah, you can think they're really cool, but I would just basically worship these people and think they were like the best thing ever. And walking on eggshells around them, I even had that in the love bombing stage. I would know that I was trying to say the right thing, do the right thing. I'm trying to like get them to like me. I'm trying to like get on their good side. And yeah, I even had that feeling even during the beginning stage. And I found the narcs that I've known have been very jealous people in general, but they're super covert about it. And there's always little small jabs and little things to make you go like, oh, what was that about? Like, that was kind of mean. And basically just your confusion about the situation and like where you stand with this person, and like trying to get them to like you, but then sometimes it seems like they really do like you, but then sometimes it seems like they don't. So that's where the confusion is. It's just like you're not on stable ground because you're not with the narc. So that was kind of a summary of like a bunch of different people that I kind of compile the similarities from. So then sometimes unique people have different things. So like this one friend was super gossipy and had lots of secrets, so she would tell you secrets to make you feel special. But then now I'm thinking like she was obviously doing that with like stuff I told her to other people, and being very exclusive. Like, I'm having a sleepover, this was in high school, so I'm having a sleepover with like just you people because like you're my best friend. But then the next week it would be, I'm having a sleepover with just you people because you're my best friend, and like it keeps changing, and then eventually you get excluded from it, and then you're like, what happened? So that's kind of devalue, but you don't have to wait that long because you can notice if they're the type of person that's like, you're my best friend right now, and like we're gonna have this special party, but like don't tell anybody else because this is like just for us or whatever. To me, that's a red flag. I have not encountered normal people that do that. I had this one friend who liked to act kind of like my big sister, which I kind of liked and thought was flattering, but like obviously she was just acting better than me and kind of like telling me what to do. But that was during the love bombing stage, but I was like, oh, she's like giving me all this advice and whatever, but being kind of controlling. And oh, only doing things on their terms. Like, yeah, you might be doing a bunch of fun stuff, but it's usually fun stuff that they want to do and like they plan it. And I'm realizing now, like, I really didn't have any like input because I enjoyed it because I happened to like it, but they never actually asked me like, do you want to do this thing? It was like they just always planned all these fun things that they wanted to do, and like I was never involved or like initiating anything. And also if they talk about themselves just constantly, and if they do want to know about you, it's always like super personal stuff, because you know that it's creating this false sense of intimacy, and then they're going to use it to hurt you later. And like maybe a normal person would just want to have deep conversations with you, but you can choose to like hold off on that if you're suspicious, because you can always talk about it later. Whereas if they're a narc and you hold off, they might ditch you because you're not giving them what they want. And then what I also noticed is there were some narcs that I just straight up did not like right off the bat. And it was people that just talked about themselves constantly. People that I felt were very fake and annoying and pushy. And I actually felt scared of them just like right off the bat. And the reason I stayed involved with them was because of like mutual friend, and some were co-workers, so I just like didn't really know how to get away from them. But I really needed very strong boundaries with these really pushy people who make you afraid of them. It's really challenging because the fear makes you just want to give in, just appease them so they'll go away, whatever. They ask you for a favor, they want something, and you're just like, okay, I'll do it, just to like make them go away. But that doesn't work in the long run, because now you're just like engaged with this person. So I know I really need to work on boundaries with these people that I'm scared of. You just gotta gray rock and be like, well, I don't have time for that, or, you know, I'm sorry, I can't do that, you know, and then you just gotta walk away. And I think that they will back off. I mean, they have. These ones that I didn't like all along, once I stopped being friends with our mutual friend, they vanished from my life. Like, they were only interested in me, I guess, as like periphery supply, because like I was like kind of involved. But anyway, yeah, if you just kind of get away from them, then sooner the better, I suppose. And with normal people, then I wrote a list of people that I thought were just like normal people. And I found that they were consistently friendly. There was none of this hot cold. It was like, oh, so-and-so is cool and they're kind of my friend. And like every time you run into them, they're like, oh, hey. And like there's no drama. Like if you saw them sitting at a lunch table or something, you could go over and be like, hey, and there's like 99% chance they're gonna be like, oh, hey, these are my friends, like introduce you. Whereas with a narc, you're always like never sure if you should like say hi to them, or like maybe they don't want to see you or something. There's always just like that weird walking on eggshells thing. Whereas with a normal person, it's like you could just go and say hi to them and they're gonna be friendly consistently. And the relationship progresses slower typically. Like you're not BFFs instantly. You may think they're cool instantly and you like them, but you're not like super close immediately. So that was just kind of what I noticed. And like also the normal people never had like a drastic personality change. Like I've been friends with my best friend for like 10 years now, and she's not, I mean, she's changed because people change, but I mean that she's never just like become a monster spontaneously. Like it's so bizarre that we just accept that narcs are normal because it's like what we know, but like it's not normal for a person to be nice and then become a monster. And then we think that the monster is like them having a bad day, but it's like actually normal people don't do that. That only happens when the normal part of it is a facade and they're actually a monster. So if that ever happens, that someone seems cool and then all of a sudden they're like ridiculously cruel, or like something just slips out, like that's really not normal. And if you bring it up to talk to them about it, that will decide whether or not they're a narc, because the narc is going to dismiss it, deny it, whatever, make excuses, tell you that you're crazy, it didn't happen, whatever. Whereas a normal person, if, you know, maybe they were just having like a ridiculously bad day, they would hopefully just say like, I was having a really bad day and like I acknowledge that that was not, you know, the way that I should have treated you or whatever. Like they'll be able to talk about it. So that's another really big thing, is if you feel afraid to talk to the person about a thing, that's a bad sign. I mean, okay, so part of that is now you're kind of paranoid, so that's what makes it hard, is like feeling insecure around someone could be because they're a narc and they're trying to trigger that, or it could just be you because now you are paranoid and that's not your fault because, you know, you've been exposed to a lot of shitty people, so it's normal to be paranoid. So I'm still trying to work out like how to kind of get around that, but you could just try to talk to them, and if they are a normal person, then the conversation will go okay. And if you feel ridiculously worse after talking to them, then they're not a good person to have in your life. And I guess that's kind of just how you can figure it out. Like, can you set a boundary? How do they respond to you setting a boundary? How do they respond to you saying what you need? And can you just tell them how you feel about something? And just see if they're actually listening to you. See if they actually care. See if you can make a list of different people that you've known, and like see if there was anything that was coming up earlier in conjunction with the love bombing, because a narc can't be perfect in the facade. There has to be some evidence that this is all fabricated, you know? And I guess just trusting how you feel, because they have dark energy. Even when they're love bombing you, they still got that narc. I kind of think of it as like a black goop. Like they still got the black cloud of tornado whatever swirling around them. That's still there even if they're love bombing you. So if you can get in touch with your intuition enough, you can sense that there's something wrong with them, even if everything else seems like normal. So let me know your thoughts on this with the red flags, and like how you kind of work through it or how you detect new narcs. And thanks for watching.